the co-chair of the Archetico Working Group, but unfortunately, due to bureaucratic reasons, he cannot be here with us. But I think we will be able successfully to connect with him so that he can give us his presentation together. Our colleagues are working on this. Georgios is an associate professor at the Stark Center of the Cyprus Institute, and he works and virtual environment, urban modeling, digital simulation for the study of the built heritage and creative exploration of historical narratives. Hi, Giorgio.
Hi, everyone. I'm really sorry. I wish I could have been there. You know how much I wanted that. Before I start, I just want to thank everyone there who made it happen for me to connect today and share my thoughts with you remotely. Let me try sharing my screen now. Good. So you can see my screen, so I can start. Great. So the presentation that I want to share with you today is extremely well aligned with all the previous speakers. I'm gonna touch upon most of the topics that were already presented, introduced, and I will try to share, if you will, some good practices and experiences of how we go about this. So a few words about our research and work here at the Virtual Environments Lab of the Cyprus Institute. So the research we are conducting is aligned, and it's in the context of knowledge about urban transitions, and we have been engaging in the JPI Urban Europe regarding this, and more recently the follow-up to the JPI Urban Europe's the Driving Urban Transitions, and specifically in the context of the 15-minute city transition pathway. This is very central to our interests, exactly because we believe strongly that historical centers and the regeneration of historical centers can be promoted as a very, very successful model for the city transition pathway. Because for historical reasons, these historical city centers were produced and created in this approach, in an approach that is compatible with the concept of 15-minute city. So in this effort, the complexity of any historic urban regeneration process can be considered a wicked problem, which needs appropriate knowledge and solutions that integrate transversal, top-down and bottom-up approaches, zooming in and out of the multi-phased assemblages of the city challenges. And in this context, we believe that we should work to implement in practice a dilemma-based approach, as it is called, which is a mission-oriented method. Missions are clearly framed, targeted, measurable, and time-bound inquiries, and thus they can be used in our case as a powerful framework for linking activities across different disciplines and research types, and making it easier for citizens to understand the value of sustainable urban management and cultural heritage. And this is exactly why I will be sharing with you these experiences of the environment here in Cyprus and how we work about that. Our lab is also a member of the New European Bauhaus Stewardship Lab, within which we share this knowledge that we produce. And of course, it's important today to mention how whatever we are working on in our working group, we shouldn't forget that this is fully aligned with the new European Bauhaus principles. Since we all work towards the same goal, understanding that cultural heritage plays a central role in integrated urban development and increase of cities' resilience, that cultural heritage can proactively address climate action and bridge the past and the future, and that cultural heritage is an important driver for sustainable economic development and innovation. So in this context, at the Virtual Environments Lab, we work through different three, if I could name them, lenses or three scales, and we operate to drive new transitions of our heritage-scapes through these lenses. The first one is the one where we look at the historical and geometric conditions of the urban fabric. In the second one, we aim to study culturally identified landscapes, while in the third one, we focus on capturing local living knowledge. And to do so, in the first case, we observe from above. In the second, we study the establishment and emergence of networks of places in the interactions among stakeholders in space. And in the last one, we implement methods that assist interpretation from within space. These three focal points drive our research, which is thus conducted in terms of the multi-scale observation of the urban fabric, the application of ICT tools to enable on-site participation for eliciting information, and the implementation of novel methods of co-design. And there is, of course, a third thrust of activities about on-site co-design operations that I will skip today to focus on the first two. Of course, in everything that we do, we understand that what our study of built heritage, of course, spills over and engages understanding of the intangible aspects of heritage. Hence, we have been working with Elena in the promotion and creation of the archetypal working group. I will start my presentation of these experiences specifically with an example of multi-scale observation. And here, before sharing this example with you, I want to remind us that actually, in the last several years, we can see, we identify in the literature a shift in focus in the literature on policies in heritage, a shift of focus from looking at the object at looking at landscapes. This is very important for our research, exactly because we preach and we propose that any kind of documentation of a heritage object should include also information about its context and its environment. So in any digitization process, we should avoid representing the information in a decontextualized form. This, we believe, it's important because in us studying heritage assets, information about scale relationships, about environmental conditions in the area, links with other locales of historical connection, orientation, visual connectivity, and so on, are all intimately tied to our perception of objects and sites. So looking at the market today in terms of how we can really facilitate this approach to studying heritage, in particular urban heritage within its context, we can see quite a few efforts in developing digital platforms that focus on 3D modeling and real-time simulation of urban environments. We, of course, fully embrace the concepts and the ideas around digital twins in cities and etc. And there are other efforts that, of course, rely mostly on more procedural regeneration of the urban fabric by using AI and remote sensed reconstructions, as well as initiatives at European scale that focus on knowledge extraction and data integration in the context of city scale reconstructions and modeling. But we have identified that there is a gap in terms of how we can facilitate, if you will, the authorities and all the stakeholders in monitoring heritage sites of bigger scale and historic neighborhoods. This is a very difficult challenge, and I will explain why further on. And in addition to this, we identify that there is a lack of quality open 3D data for city management, in particular about historic cities, as this has been reported on the policy paper, on the white paper that was produced, that was like the basis for the European Collaborative Cloud for Cultural Heritage framework that was recently released. If you will allow me now, I will proceed to this example, to sharing with you this experience that I mentioned that I believe can be very relevant to the discussions that you will be having in the following days in the workshop. So this is a reality, our reality here in Cyprus. What you see is the city, the historic city of Nicosia, where the urban sprawl has introduced a lot of challenges in the management of the operations of the municipalities, of course, and of the public space, as well as of the building stock. All the red dots that you see on the slide are satellite villages to Nicosia that have been integrated in the urban fabric of the metropolitan territory of the city with its expansion, with its sprawl. We have been working with the municipalities to develop like time machine reconstructions of the sites to facilitate the understanding of this expansion. But we have obviously recently understood that if we want to really facilitate the preservation and the safeguarding of this heritage, a different approach is required, one that would allow us to integrate many different data sets generated by different disciplinary backgrounds and bringing together the different scales. And this is the big challenge for us that we are facing today, how to integrate these data sets and how to bring together knowledge about building provenance for conservation, state analysis, and renovation and reuse, data standardization, the definition of the data generation procedures through documentation and instructions, so that we can like comply with any effort of standardization, and of course the handling of this digital information. So what we did was we brought together research organizations, with SMEs, ICT companies, with the stakeholders of the city, like the town planning and housing department of the government, and municipalities, and the Department of Antiquities, together with professional bodies, and such as ICOMOS and ICOM, to talk together and understand how we could tackle this problem. So we had like we studied specific sites and specific buildings that were selected carefully to meet some criterias in order to experiment in the production of such a very integrated portal, a platform, a screenshot of which you see here on your screen, a platform that would enable the authorities to monitor the development of the city in an open and easy way, and to provide also to the building owners access to the knowledge about the value of their property, and to, in this way, facilitate like the valorization of heritage. And this is like a big a very important key activity and initiative for cities like ours. You can see here the results of decay and neglect by human activities, and the impact of climate change, which is not very different to like the results of an earthquake. So as I briefly mentioned, the challenges we wanted to like address regarded the urban sprawl, the loss of heritage buildings by human neglect, climate change, and international real estate pressures, and of course the identified need for building renovation if we were to achieve the EU New Green Deal goals. In this environment, of course, we understood that there is a gap. The gap includes the first point, the most important, that the authorities lacks access to data and the tools for monitoring, at least in our not very rich so-called second and third tier historic cities, which do not have the resources to have like a digital twin of their city and 3D cadastral data. The professionals lack access to building and urban data, because this is like it involves a lot of labor, and it's costly, and of course they lack of the know-how. And even in terms of creating this platform, one would identify challenges with regards to scalability and sustainability, as any kind of such tools must be user enabling in everyday operation. And of course, the most important, user acceptance of these tools, or if you will, this platform, so that everyone would be not afraid to use it, any target user group, including, of course, concerns over data ownership, privacy, and security. So we overcome these challenges by producing a series of requirements for restoration and renovation, and guidelines for the users of this platform. We made sure that we would produce quality data sets respecting of the international standards, and we would also facilitate multidisciplinary study of the heritage assets, and we would try to bring this knowledge together with information of different scales. And I will show you in a while how we did this. A key point for us was that we set up the whole process in a way that we would incrementally develop this platform as a tool together through co-design sessions, together with the identified target user groups. I will quickly take you through this platform now, through this pre-recorded video. The platform is available online. You can see here how a user can select a building asset from within a 3D GIS environment, a representation of the neighborhoods, and they can access information about the building conservation state analysis, and a series of the documentation of the building, and the necessary drawings that any architect would require for the study of the building, as well as access to the results of non-destructive testing, different versions of visualizing the asset through different interfaces. This is Enscape, for example, that allows the user also to change the time of the day, and therefore to see the impact or to show to the clients the impact of lighting on the proposed materials, and of course access to the IFC file. You briefly saw also that we had we have included a comments section in the platform, so that the public can add information, can share information about specific buildings. And what you see here is the information, the visualization of the information that we collected through remote sensing about the land surface temperature, about the neighborhood and the building, as well as the documentation of the whole process, and the playbook that we produced with all the guidelines and the instructions for the generation of the data sets, as well as the process of uploading the data sets to the platform. As a result, and this I'm trying to connect with the previous presenter, as a result of this effort of ours, we succeeded in attracting the interest of the municipalities and the town planning and housing department, who were partners in the project, and now they were convinced of the value of this approach using HBIM in an integrated workflow that is accessible and available for their officers through a simplified interface for monitoring purposes, for the whole process of getting permissions for building conservation and renovation. And they are in the process of enriching this platform with new data sets. And of course, they have started discussion about updating their policies and operations to see how they could include BIM files in the whole permission building permission process. Lessons we learned through this include the value of visualization, that multiple modes of visualization can help for the better interpretation of the complex urban conditions. And you can see here the bringing together environmental data from the neighborhood with the results of conservation state analysis and the interpretation of specific issues identified in on the structure of the building. And of course, for doing that, we implemented all the necessary practices for conservation state analysis, as well as for we experimented with a better understanding of the environmental impact of heritage buildings, which of course it's like a very difficult task to come up with a life cycle assessment of heritage buildings and their materiality and materials. Again, in terms of visualization, phasing of the buildings, we provide this information to the users of the platform and the various ways that any one of these building assets can be visualized. Just some screenshots. Moving to the urban scale, another lesson learned regarded the importance of chronological transformation and monitoring and understanding chronological transformation through this time machine function that helped us better understand change in the urban environment. Another lesson learned regard therefore the value of bringing together these different scales of analysis and study of heritage, the urban with the building scale, and the integration of all the various data sets that were produced through a well-defined workflow that bridges and crosses all the scales that I mentioned. As we were doing this, we started addressing the issue of integrating all the various data that we were producing with their relevant metadata. And this, of course, is something that is very relevant to the workshop and to the operation of Archetypo in the future. And we really hope that we will be able to develop this further. Another experience very important for us was the value of creating a knowledge graph about the various assets and knowledge and information that we were producing and how these could be linked and connected between them so that we could bridge the scales. And later, as you can see it on the screen, in terms of LODs, which helped us a lot, of course, in then having data sets that we could that were annotated and we could easily query through the platform. So we could query the assets according to style, material, etc. And in the back end of that, of course, very important was for us to start testing how we could semantically structure all this metadata, respecting and following like specific standards. And I see here, and I want to repeat like the value of the one of the remarks of the previous presenter about the importance of vocabularies in whatever we are doing that would allow interoperability and data sustainability. And also very important, another lesson learned was the value of really engaging whoever we consider as our users for the whatever work we are producing in the whole process of developing the method. And this is an example, for example, of how we went about the development of this platform. So we built through based on some specific scenarios that we started with the support of the ICT SME, the company. We built the alpha version of the tool, of the platform, and then we had like 2 rounds of iterations of it, where we collected and we implemented feedback of the groups that we had identified as our audience, as our users, through co-design sessions. And this helped us a lot in really transforming the original aim of the platform, which was to provide features about building a catalog, to provide access to interactive visualization modes, to help the authorities and the stakeholders in monitoring buildings and heritage assets and whole neighborhoods, and to handle the information through the various resources that we were expecting to be onboarded on the platform. And of course, most importantly, for the maintenance and the sustainability, the future sustainability of the platform, of the work that we were building, the administrative side of it in the back end, how this could be handled. So we managed to bring all this to meet these goals through these co-design sessions that the feedback that we got and we delivered to the ICT company from the users was pivotal, was very, very crucial for them to meet their needs and their goals, and therefore to ensure that what we would develop would be easily maintained, and it will be a tool that the intended users would continue using. These are some screenshots of the various data that were integrated in the platform in terms of broader fields of information and knowledge, GIS, of course, the multiscale 3D documentation, and the BIM implementation with the various documents and templates that were produced exactly to facilitate the professionals to continue to be able to deliver data sets of exactly the same quality that would be compatible to the platform, and therefore they could be easily uploaded to the platform. And all this is, of course, openly published. And now, quickly, I will move on to the next scale, which I think is also relevant to the first presenter about the future of how the results of our workshop could bring in some new ideas to the municipality there, which I think you will find interesting. So what I will be showing to you was produced in the context of Daria again, with a collaboration of cost action. So we, in terms of handling, engaging with the local stakeholders in order to engage them in the process, the whole process of collecting of knowledge elicitation, we are operating with this data lifecycle that you see on your screen, which is basically a spiral that brings together and combines expert knowledge with local knowledge, like memories of the local communities about a site, and integrates, of course, all the other digital management of information steps and features. So in this case, in our case, we decided to collaborate with the local university in Cordoba with the support of the University of Seville and the local municipality, as well as a local NGO that works with the patio houses. And we started with like the value of the Festival of Patios as an example of intangible cultural heritage that is recognized by UNESCO. And we wanted to connect that to the built heritage, the building assets, the building stock in the neighborhoods that are populated by patio houses, which actually sadly 2 out of the 4 have been already gentrified. They have been converted into Airbnb properties. And like the locals are really fighting hard to keep the original community in place in the other neighborhoods. And this was like for us a very good case study to see how we could like facilitate and help this process. So for us also being coming from the digital cultural heritage and architecture background, of course we could see the value of talking about the beautification of the courtyards through plants, but actually how this was like an added value to the actual, the most tangible benefit of the patio houses and the flowering, the plantation, which is of course microclimate control. So we started approaching the issue with a qualitative analysis, where actually through micro interviews and work with the locals, we started building such kind of narratives of stories where actually, if you read the boxes, you will see that it's like a qualitative analysis of very clear quantitative aspects of microclimates control that the patio, the courtyard provides to the experience of inhabiting this space. So these experiences and the connectivity between this network of patio houses, we wanted to capture experiences of the local people that they still live there or they remember living there, in order to facilitate to create like a baseline of information that all the scholars and the researchers could reuse in order to start like developing more articulate and elaborate studies. So we organized at least 2 in 2 different years events there with with students from the local universities, and we provided them like the tools for them to walk around and start doing mini interviews and micro interviews with the inhabitants, and collecting all this information on site, and managing all this information and the annotated assets such as photographs, etc., through an online system that would help us like bring all this knowledge together. And of course, we moved even further in developing like more innovative approaches to engage with wider audiences, such as online video games. And the same more or less approach, but including also in the process augmented reality. We applied again in the context of Daria in another historic site, the Cantieri Culturali all'Aziza in Palermo, that I'm sure all of you know already, or probably you have been there. So in that site, there is one leftover space that is without a roof. So what we did was, in the context of this workshop, we documented the sites, and we started using augmented reality as a tabletop co co-diagnostic tool to discuss with the local stakeholders about their vision of this site and how this building could be renovated and what it could become of and for what they use. And then we started like illustrating some of their ideas and providing them like the interface to walk around the site and interact with their suggestions, and to help us through that collect all this information and visualize it and facilitate the whole co-design phase. And I will finish with our wish and hope for Archetipo that we will bring these knowledges together, the very technical knowledge of the documentation of the provenance of the building and its geometry with the lived knowledge of the people, the custodians and the bearers of cultural heritage, and that we will develop the necessary practices and tools that will offer new insights to the important integration of these worlds, if I could say. Actually, we are very happy that we are part of the Horizon Europe Atrium project, in the context of which we hope that we will facilitate the work that we will be developing in Archetipo, and we will be able to share it with other communities outside of the area across Europe. The focus of Atrium is to facilitate access to digital research infrastructures and to advance frontier knowledge in the arts and humanities, and wherein specifically we have outcomes that are extremely relevant to our discussion today, such as improved metadata quality of existing catalogs and repositories, and workflows and demonstrators highlighting the composability of services, of course respecting the relevant standards and the FAIR principles. And in particular, in the project, we are leading a task on HBIM workflows and a demonstrator, and I hope we will be able to continue this discussion throughout the duration of the project, so that we can share knowledges and experience. Thank you very much for your attention.